Popeye's Revenge was released in 2025. This is directed by William Stead, written by Harry Boxley, and we have a cast including Stephen Murphy, Connor Powles, Danielle Ronald, and various others. The performances are absolutely fine. I was really looking forward to this, and unfortunately, while I didn't have specific expectations, it really didn't deliver. It's not the worst film I've ever seen. There are some reasonably okay aspects, but there are a few things that for me just didn't work very well. It's also just not very scary. Basically, there are quite a few Popeye horror films released this year, and I love horror films based on classic cartoon characters. We have Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse, and of course now we have Popeye. And the Popeye character, I thought, was very effective. He's played by Stephen Murphy, and at the start of the film, we are given a bit of a backstory about Popeye as a young boy and some difficulties he was facing. And at the start of the film, we are told that he allegedly drowned in this lake. And I have to say, the backstory they've created is quite effective. I think that part of it was quite well written. I think they really put the effort in to give him a backstory to then become the horror character that he is. So I don't mind that part of it. And then the rest of the film is about a group of people who are visiting this house where these events in Popeye's childhood occurred, and it turns out that Popeye is very much there and very much out to kill. And as a concept, I don't hate it. I think it works quite well as a story with regards to the pacing. I have no issues with the execution of the narrative. It's absolutely fine. But there are a few things that I didn't like. First of all, it's British. Popeye is an American character. And I genuinely, and maybe I'd regret saying this, but I genuinely rather they did really awful American accents than have it as a British film. Now, maybe the cast could do amazing American accents. I have absolutely no idea. But I think that should have been the better decision, in my opinion, because it's harder to suspend disbelief. For example, with the Mickey Mouse horrors and the Winnie the Pooh horrors, it's fun to imagine that our beloved childhood favourite characters have turned into these monsters, these villains. But with this being very much a British film, with British accents everywhere, it's harder to believe that this is actually Popeye, because it's not set in the States. So had they even just put on American accents, even if they weren't the best American accents, I wouldn't have minded, because it would have been easier to suspend disbelief that this is actually what happened to Popeye. So I didn't love that aspect of it. And the lighting is not great for a lot of the film. Not all of it. And even within the same scenes, we go from having really bad lighting to not too bad lighting. And then there are some scenes that are perfectly well lit. So the lighting definitely isn't brilliant. And there were times where something gory was happening. There's quite a bit of bloodshed in this. But the lighting was so dim, I could barely see it. If you're going to be gory and gruesome and graphic, let me see it. So the lighting wasn't great. The camera work was fine. The performances were okay. The rest of the characters, Popeye aside, were well enough written. I didn't care for anybody, but they were absolutely fine. They didn't irritate me, so that was okay. So in general, as a concept, I like it. I quite like the narrative, aside from the fact that it's British. But the horror aspect, it's not particularly scary. But for me, at least, when it comes to these films, Popeye, Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, I don't watch them because I think I'm going to be scared. I watch them because they're generally gory and fun. And I guess it ticks that box, but the lighting definitely ruined that a little bit. In general, it's okay. I think had it been free, it would have been a much more satisfying experience. Or I'd be less irritated that it wasn't quite as good as it could have been. I did pay for it, as it's not streaming in the UK just now. It was, I think, don't quote me, but I think it was about $3.99 on Amazon, I think, which is not a tremendous amount of money, but it's been in my to-watch list for a while, pretty much since it came out, and I was waiting for it to go down in price, and it didn't, and every week I like to watch one release from this year, so from 2025, and there wasn't anything else I wanted to watch that was currently streaming, so I figured, let's bite the bullet, let's rent it. I don't regret it. I don't regret having paid the money to rent it, but it didn't quite deliver. It could have been a lot better. But if you're a Popeye fan and you do like horror films based on beloved characters, give it a go. It's not the worst film ever. Definitely room for improvement, but I guess it's not too bad.